So I end up downtown LA, bro. And if you've never been, just look up Fifth Street in San Julian on
Okay,
any Google's map.
we're gonna do
On
it right
any
now. You
Google
said
map,
okay,
you
Fifth
can do it
Street.
right now. Fifth
And
Street in San Julian in downtown LA. There's a hotel down there called the Panama.
hold on, you said we can look this up on any map. We're just gonna go to Street View.
Or look, put on Street View on Google Earth.
Yo, I'm working on this shit. Fucking.
What?
There we go. Fifth Street and San Julian. Everybody,
Right.
you can see it now.
Downtown LA.
This is it.
And there's the Panama. Oh, they cleaned that motherfucker up. Over there's the park. Now, if you go down that street right there, Fifth Street, right, that goes right into downtown. Man, this is the most beautiful picture I've ever seen of this motherfucker.
It's the
Where are all the
motherfucking.
bombs?
Ah!
Holy shit, they cleaned this shit up. This is amazing.
Or
This
Google
motherfucker's
edit.
living in
Can you
cardboard.
imagine like Google edited out the bums?
Dude, they might have because dog, like seriously, look into the newspaper, bro. That shit is mania as fuck.
I don't know that we've ever gone
Anyway,
on Google Maps before on this. We should do this more
big.
often, people. This is
Whenever
fun.
I
I'm
hit,
gonna keep the
whenever I
Google
hit
Maps
Fifth
open and
Street in
handy.
San Julian, um, I ended up down there, and they got me into a program because I never heard about this shit before. But in California, if you're just a regular dude and you're broke, they'll just give you fucking money. They call it GR, general relief. You feel me? And I've never had the thought that because in Texas they don't do that, bro. If you can work, if you're a grown ass man and you can work, they're not giving you fuck all. Now, if you're a pregnant chick or something, you'll get welfare, but they don't give grown ass men that can work fucking welfare. That that was an unheard of concept. So I was like, damn, they'll just give you money and food stamps. And back then they gave you actual food stamps with fucking paper, you know what I mean? And bus tokens and shit. So anyway, I would always go take the fucking food stamps down to the park and sell them to the fucking paisas because they'll buy them at half the face value cash out right there. Boom, half. So you get like $500 in food stamps and like $750, and then you go and get $250 for the food stamps, and you got a thou wow to come up on, get your pack. You know what I mean? But I lived in downtown LA, which is synonymous for like savage bumland. You know, like the dregs of society, bro. That is like the people that end up homeless in downtown at
Is
the
that near
midnight
Skid
mission.
Row?
Yeah, that is Skid Row. What do you mean near
Oh,
Skid Row?
bro, I don't.
That is
Okay,
Skid
I
Row.
googled Skid Row a couple months back on some curiosity. I'm like, what's Skid Row? And then you look at how big this fucking area is, and you're like, and then maybe it was a Vice video. You know when Vice does some shit
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
let's
yeah.
look into Skid Row. And one of them type of videos, and then I looked at it on the map, and I know that was that, but yo, that's fucking like
No,
wild.
that's Skid Row. And that's the cleanest I've ever seen Skid Row is down that good. Look, I have never not seen motherfuckers in cardboard. There's a police station right there that motherfuckers camp out in front of. Like right down the street from the hotel. Um, but anyway, whenever I was down there, bro, it was like legit Skid Row. This is the 90s, you know what I mean? And so I ended up getting into the program, getting what they call an SRO, a single occupancy room. It's like a cell. You get to leave every day, but you got to give them the key to your room and then pick it up when you come back in. You got a 10 o'clock curfew. And then you could go around to all the missions down there and eat. And then people would always pull up, like churches and stuff would always pull up and they would just, feed you out the back of their shit. You know what I mean? There's always be lines for shit. Motherfuckers just stand in lines down there. Like that's their job to just stand in line and people give you shit. It's the most amazing thing I ever seen in life, bro. Seriously. They had this one bishop dude, Catholic dude, pulled up out every Sunday in the afternoon, and he'd bring out fat stack of dollars, bro, and hand everybody a dollar. Bang, 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 bang. In fact, I waited in that line for a dollar a couple of times. Like you would wait 45 an hour. in the line for a fucking dollar. Can you imagine that shit?
No,
That 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 is like
sort of,
the
maybe.
pinnacle of what the fuck. You feel me?
I mean, I think it's super interesting. How many? I don't know anybody that was in Skid Row. I've never talked to a human being that was ever gone through that experience, and so yeah, and the media is never really gonna talk about it. This because
Oh,
nobody covers it. The best we're
look,
ever
I
gonna
used to
get
run.
is people who
Oh,
talk about it like this. This is the best we're ever gonna get on this because nobody was around back then. You know.
dude, I used to run protection for this lesbian broad with blue hair that used to sell crack out of her ass. And I would watch her back, keep motherfuckers from jacking her and shit. You know what I mean? Just straight up selling crack in downtown LA. That was probably the pinnacle of my fucking like my whole like, oh, I'm gonna be bad. I'm a badass dude. What do you want? And I end up fucking down crack dealer in downtown LA. That is like, what the fuck? How does that happen? Um, I guess I'm kind of telling you how it happens. Anyway,
That is an
so,
amazing self realization.
so look, I ended up deciding that hey man, I gotta like take advantage of these opportunities down here because so they helped me get a social security card. They helped me get a legit job, right? I started working for this boiler room in Hollywood and Vine. Um and Hollywood is away from like downtown LA. You gotta like get on a train for like a half hour, 45 minutes to get to Hollywood, right? So I would ride the train from downtown every day to Hollywood and Vine to go and work at uh, the uh, the boiler room for AT&T selling long distance to old people. Basically, you're slamming old people all day. This was a ruthless fucking thing. As a telemarketer, bro, it's fucking crazy. So essentially, I uh, I worked there for almost 2 years and lived in downtown LA at the hotel room and other various shelters throughout that process because you know periodically you had to vacate that motherfucker and go somewhere else. But uh, until the supervisor, right? He goes, he sees me going to the train and he's like, "Hey man, where do you live?" I said, "I live in downtown LA at the Panama." And he goes, "What the fuck? You live on Skid Row?" And he's just in utter fucking amazement, bro. Of like, you know, like, wow, you live with the bums, but you're up here working? Like, what the fuck? So he kind of puts me under his wing. And he says, "Nah, man, you got to move in with me in Hollywood." And this is when the Hollywood journey kicks off. And I moved to Cahuenga, right?
I don't know what a
And this
Kalanga
dude,
is.
it's a fucking famous block in Hollywood. But listen, this block, Cahuenga and Wilcox, famous for fucking porn stars. This dude lives in a fucking building where all the porn stars live, bro. And I literally like I'm fucking like I go from being where the bums are, bro, to being where all the fucking porn stars are, where the pool eye candy is just what the fuck.